welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out, with your hosts Brandon, Collin, and Aaron. On this week's show, standing is illegal.
Not gonna lie, gentlemen. I am not feeling well. There's gonna be lots of muting here going on. Oh my goodness! It's been a free-flowing nasal day for sure.
The best.
It is the season. It is so bad, and it hit today with a vengeance and a half.
That's because today it finally decided, it's cold today, by the way.
And windy. Got it. And windy is all get out.
Oh, yeah.
So all that stuff in the air, and it's actually cold. And my body was like, oh, finally, yes. Shutting down. So I've got my Kleenex with soothing lotion. I got all sorts of good stuff. Because it's like I always forget. I have literally been blowing my nose for many, many years now, and like every time it's like I get that one spell where I don't have to blow my nose very often. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just use toilet paper to do it. It'll be fine. That's soft, right? I put it on my butt. It'll be okay. And then after the 10th time, I'm like, why do I wipe my butt with sandpaper? Oh no.
Well, not to become too graphic for the listeners, but you're trying to remove things with the toilet paper. Right?
I know, but you just
and then like
I know, but it's like
a little different.
But it's also like you don't feel like it's that rough because you're like, oh, what the difference between that and your nose? Like, nose can't be that much more sensitive. But then you're like, oh yeah, absolutely, surprise, it can. Turns out,
turns out. Statement's not entirely accurate.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Shock. So yeah, I'm. This is my voice for the evening. Enjoy.
Excellent. Yeah, I find that whenever my allergies finally decide to kick into high gear, that I become much better at singing Johnny Cash songs. Right, like.
Oh, for sure.
My voice just goes,
I know. San Antonio.
He's like, oh, okay. Yeah. He's like, I'm done here now, I guess. Sorry, that's fine. So it's like,
and what makes it what makes it funny now is that, doing this kind of thing where you sit down and you record and you lock in how you are for an hour, right? And then it doesn't come out for a couple weeks, or for the other podcast instance, like literally months. And then I'm like, oh, this is cold season for Collin, I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself. Just hold on.
Okay.
That was
fair. Thanks.
Was it 2 weeks ago when we podcasted? I was just kind of curled up in my little chair.
Oh yes.
And I had all my little tissues and all my stuff, and I muted myself most of the time because it'd just be like I would just sneeze like 8 sneezes in a row, and like, all right, I'm back. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Every time I turn to talk, okay, mute, and then just sneeze.
It's Oh Brother Podcast, sponsored by
Kleenex. It is. Add them. I need to add them to my list. Sponsor.
It's one of those pre-sponsor things.
That's how it works. You got to start out with like, "Hey, we use your product a lot." By the way,
that's what you do. You write your
wink, wink.
Hi, we think that our listeners and your target audience align quite well. We've already mentioned your product many times on the podcast. Links to this episode, and this episode, and it comes highly recommended. We'd love to partner with you.
See, there you go. Already a big fan of you. That's right.
Huge fan of all the great things.
Huge fan. Yeah, perfect. How could they turn that down? There's no possible.
Yeah.
Wait.
Except for literally all the reasons.
Literally all the reasons. Oh, man. Yeah, okay. So, speaking of, real quick aside here, advertising that is in a weird spot. Okay.
Okay.
So this week I saw an ad, and then the sponsor for the event, like, just don't match at all. Right. And it just gives me great chuckles, right?
Yeah.
Because it's October.
Yes.
Right. As you might know, Shayna, big wrestling enthusiast. So we watch wrestling,
yes,
right?
yes.
And it's October, so that means it's time for Hell in a Cell, brought to you by Skittles. No joke. No joke.
No. What?
So funny. I know. It's great.
Wow.
I saw that ad and I was like, "Are you what?"
Okay. Well,
They have like the big logo, the big Hell in a Cell logo thing, and then right under it says Skittles.
okay. What? What? Interesting.
I died. I literally was like, "What?
What
Branding?"
Well, I mean, Skittles, beloved by all, apparently, and whether you are in Hell in a Cell or somewhere else, I guess you could be enjoying a lovely bag of the rainbow.
Enjoy your Skittles. That's true. It's just so great.
The rainbow knows no boundaries, or
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
it's literally known for crossing from one point to another. So
That's true, but it's just the best.
You talk about like who? Okay, I want to know. Was it Hell in a Cell that was like Skittles? We need to bring on Skittles, or was it Skittles who was like, okay, who have we not?
Yeah, or it was just like, yeah, we'll do your next pay-per-view, and they like just didn't tell them what it was. They thought it'd be like Clash of Champions or SummerSlam, right?
What it was.
No,
Just went to an agency, and they were like, "We'll buy the next 6 months of slots. It doesn't matter what could." They're just surprised sitting there.
Yeah, they were hoping for next month, which should be Survivor Series, maybe, but like. This one's going to be like, nope, you got October instead. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no.
And I can see that. It's like, it's Halloween. We got to be thinking about Skittles. We got to do all that stuff.
Still.
Hell in a Cell.
Not quite.
Taste the rainbow. Like, what? What is happening?
Before I go in for my big match, I like to sit down with a big old box of Skittles and really get in the mood.
Yeah, that's what Drew McIntyre is going to be eating before he goes to the ring, right? Just like Skittles.
The commentators have their big old bowls of Skittles sitting there. I can't believe what's going on today.
Yeah, right.
coming down the runway or whatever that thing's called.
Yeah, the entrance ramp thing,
tearing off the top with their teeth and then dumping it in their face.
That's true. Instead of pyro, it's just like a raining Skittles from the ceiling. It's like,
oh God, it's in my eye! It's in my eye! Oh gosh! Hold on!
Right, entrance music plays. Right, dramatic walkout, the pose, and then just like Skittles blasted everywhere.
Trillions of BBs fired up to the air.
Yes, flying through the air. This is great.
What could possibly go wrong?
Especially with like, there's a couple wrestlers where this would totally work. That'd be fine. But like the New Day, like, okay, I can see that, right? Or like some of the other ones, but then like all the bad guys, like Skittle shower, like that doesn't work.
They're menacing like middle distance stare off into things. It's
like, oh yeah,
I'm on top of it.
They're just doing their like. They're like dirty bad guy, like their heel promos, like, oh yeah. They're just all being all like smarmy and bad guy, and then like Skittles rain down from the sky.
think Hell in a Cell really missed a big opportunity here.
There's still time. It hasn't happened yet. So it's a.
Well, I eagerly await to see how Skittles is incorporated, and I guarantee you it'll not be nearly
catch the replay
as exciting as.
When I watch the recap show, I hope that there are Skittles raining from the ceiling in the building. That'd be great.
Awkward Skittle product placements.
Yeah, right. Like the main event is going to be just like those two. Main event's probably going to be these two ladies who have like finally decided to be enemies, right? They finally betrayed each other. It's this big storyline that's been developing for a long time. Anyway, side note, it's going to be that match. Yeah. Right? This is going to be like a big giant, like they just like hate each other. And it's just like, you can see the anger in all their faces. And then there's like big Skittles sign on the side of the thing. There's like
right in the background. The background is big
right in the background. Skittles. Yeah.
I'm ready for this. Okay, I am officially excited for Hell in a Cell now.
In the cage. It's gonna be great. So ridiculous. Yeah, see.
I like this. Okay, I'm ready. I wasn't ready. I wasn't okay with this, but now I am. I'm on board.
I'm ready now, but
I'm all for.
Now you're ready.
Skittles needs to sponsor more things like this.
Yeah, right. Just like totally out of nowhere, like. And again, most wrestling pay-per-views, like, just like whatever. Like, okay, Survivor Series. Okay, the Royal Rumble. All right, fine. But like this one specifically, it's just so weird.
Right. It makes it.
Because it's like the menacing. And it's supposed to be like, because traditionally in wrestling, like the cage match is like, you've had this feud going for a long time. And like, nothing else can settle the final score. This is like the final. It's supposed to be not with lazy writing, what they have, but like it's supposed to be like the final crescendo of like a big feud. It's like in the cage, right? Like nobody can escape. You're locked in there, and you've got to settle it to win, to leave, right? Again, with lazy writing, it doesn't happen all the time. But you would think that like it would be like all big and dramatic and menacing and Skittles. Like
it's gonna be great.
It's just really funny. Every time I see the logo, I just giggle. And I'm like, why is that happening?
Okay. Where's my mute button?
It's true. Sorry. Didn't mean to destroy you, but
it's fine. It's good.
So we'll see. I can't remember if that is this weekend or next weekend. It's hard to know, really. So I don't remember these things, but so I'm not going to like buy it. Obviously, that's ridiculous. But
Are you? Is it ridiculous?
No. It is ridiculous. I'm not paying to watch that. I just watch the recap show later. It'll be fine. But it's the highlights.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I just saw that, and I thought that you need to know about the silliness.
As I'm putting together our sponsors list, it's good to know things like that are out there working, so we can really reach out to.
Right. There you go.
I don't know. What would be Skittles is to Hell in the Cell as blank is to the Oh Brother podcast. Here you go. Okay.
Yes. What's the most like not quite appropriate thing? Like
some thought to be put into that. Okay.
So other than that, how's your life been going?
Other than
sickness,
today, my body literally
the nose faucet turned on.
Gosh, yeah. So other than that, today it's been a good week. We've been really, really enjoying evening bike rides with the kids around the neighborhood. The weather's just been so awesome to get out, and the kids have been insanely confident and independent on the bikes, especially Lillian, but Noah, like ever increasingly.
I mean, not really surprised there with the first one.
Not really surprised at all. Matter of fact, I
no.
need to get like a bungee cord on her to pull her back. Because if you aren't careful, you'll look up and you're like, why are you a quarter mile away?
That's true. You gotta start the chase, right? You gotta start like in the Grand Tour, right? You do the chase. You gotta start cycling through. They're like, come on, no, it's your turn to be in the front. Let's go. Like,
it really is. It really is. So yeah, we went. We actually biked a portion of the Katy Trail for the first time, and that was nice. It was nice fall weather, lots of leaves everywhere. So we've been enjoying that. And the construction crew, I don't know if you guys remember this. Last June, they were replacing the water mains on our street. And they dug a big hole, took a big chunk.
Yeah, that's why you had a giant hole. Yeah.
The titular hole. Well,
the pit of despair.
The pit of despair. They have. They started 3 weeks ago at the far end of our block, replacing the sidewalk. The sidewalk that was originally poured in the late 60s, early 70s is now getting replaced. And they have been slowly working, and so the kids and I have had lots of fun going out and seeing the backhoe and seeing the dump truck and the cement mixer and seeing the skid steer moving stuff around. Well, they moved and they've cut through we're replacing all of our sidewalk too, and it's been fun. That's been really nice. The construction workers have been really the crew that have been really sweet to the kids, demanding to like be as close to the equipment as possible, right? So they have put up with a lot of us just like sitting on a corner staring at them with use shovels or the backhoe for like literally hours a day.
They're probably just really confused, like, why are they still?
I know, right? It's been every day for a little while now, especially as they've been getting closer to us. But they've been working in the neighborhood for a while, and we would go and find them and track them down.
Yeah.
Wave to them, and so they are just about to finish. And I called the city and was like, "Hey, just want to let you know the crew that you had working on our street have been really awesome, and I'm glad they're going to be done, but my kids are going to be really sad. So thank you guys. Their kids are really going to miss them. So thank you for an awesome crew, because the kids are going to miss them, because it's been, we've literally been watching them work around the neighborhood for over a year, and they're just at the end of it now. So it'll be sad.
That's funny.
It'll be sad, but it'll be really nice to have a functional sidewalk to actually use.
That's true. You don't want like jaunty, exciting angles on your sidewalk,
crevasses in the middle of it. No.
Yeah, it's like modern art, right? It's like a Picasso, like cubist, like da 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 da. That's how some of them are around here, as well. They're planning on. I've read something that my city is also planning on doing some sidewalk renovation at some point. I don't know what that point is, but like. It's not on the side of the city that I live on, because this side has like no sidewalks anywhere. So whatever.
So our portion of the city still has the some original brick sidewalks that were that I really like, because they don't collect water. They're actually easier to walk on in the wintertime, and they look really cool if the owners keep them up in the summertime, because the grass grows through them. Get a really cool look if they're kept up. Otherwise, it just looks like another part of their yard, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
But
fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So that's probably been the biggest thing, most exciting thing. We were really worried because there's a big, like, huge tree right on the corner that had busted the sidewalk up to the extent where there was like a 6 to 7 inch differential in the middle of the sidewalk where it cracked. And as they kept on getting closer, I'd go out and I'd talk to the foreman and be like, "So, what are you going to do about the tree? What are you going to do about the tree?" And he was like, "I didn't,
It's like, dude, stop."
Because I didn't want him to cut it, right? I don't want him to cut any tree down." He was like, "Well, the city has told us to save as many trees as possible." And I was like, "Okay, well, that's nice. That's good. That's good. That's nice. I like that." And then nervously watch them hack and cut and dig around this thing, and they cut into some pretty big roots. You had to, right?
Well, yeah.
But I think they were able to save it, so we'll see how long it survives.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I think so.
Probably.
I think it will. I think it'll be fine. They had the city arborist crew out there because we get a lot of grants. This is like the third year in a row we've gotten some big grants from the Department of Conservation for tree maintenance and for having really nice trees in the city. So they were out kind of inspecting it as they were working. So I was like, well, okay, well, at least somebody else had eyes on this.
There you go. See, they're doing stuff. They're professional-ish. It's fine.
And, yeah, sure. I don't know. How about you?
Me?
The general you. Both started talking at the same time.
This week was weird. Perfect. I like it. This week was weird. It was just like today was the end of the quarter. So it's just been like, get done things, do stuff, right? Like, it's kind of meh. Like, not really doing too many new things, just trying to wrap up loose ends, do all that stuff. And today was like our end of the quarter celebration day. So we did nothing. So it was just kind of like a long day of stuff where if the kids met their reading goal from the English teacher this morning, they had like a little party in there, right? And then if they didn't, they were supposed to come in my room and have like study hall time or whatever. And this afternoon was like our behavior award stuff, if we've been meeting our PBIS expectation thingies. So we just had like a big long extra recess time and did some other stuff today, since normally we would like go to a place, but that's not allowed. So we just had outdoor recess and did some stuff and just messed around inside. So it was kind of like a just weird day because we're like in the middle of some stuff, and I was like, well, we're just gonna put that on hold. We'll do our presentations Monday, and then like try to get some stuff done, and other stuff just like, okay, well we'll finish that. We'll start those Monday because we've been doing our geography like final presentations for class, and so Wednesday was the last day to finish them, and then we spent Thursday doing like peer editing stuff, just so we can kind of have other eyes on our presentation and practice presenting to like a partner, before we get up in front of the class and go, because they're not very confident presenters. That's not a thing that they like, or that they're not super comfortable with that. The whole get up, present your thing in front of the class. So we're just kind of taking it slow and practicing and doing some stuff. So Monday is the real deal. We're gonna do presentations Monday. So we'll see how that goes. But it should be pretty good because it's just kind of like for fun. It's the first presentation that I make them do all year. And so for our geography final, our presentation is like, you have to tell about your dream vacation destination, because that hits kind of all our geography things, right? Like, what region is it in? What continent is it on? What are the landforms in the area? What's the climate like? All these things. Like what country or city, all that stuff. So your like actual location, your landform, geography, blah, 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 climate. And then they just have to do like fun stuff like the food and what activities would you go do and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little more fun. It's not like super serious, but it's like kind of like, okay, this is what we're doing. I'm telling them like we're gonna do a couple of these a year. So this one's practicing, getting up, getting comfortable, and being in front of the class, all that stuff. So yeah, guys, they're usually pretty fun to watch because they come up with some of them, most of them are like pretty normal, like, oh, London, Paris. And some of them are like really bizarre, like hyper specific locations. Like, what? Why did you pick that? I don't know.
That's great.
Like, why? Why that one? So it's very interesting to see like where they decide to go. It's weird. So it's just fun to watch, fun to listen to. But I told them, because some of them, like I gave them a rubric, right? So they have a checklist. And I've been finding a lot of them on the floor.
Oh, no.
Where they help you.
Yes.
And so I told him, I was like, Wednesday, it's like your job as a peer editor is to help your classmates' presentation be the best that it can be.
Uh-huh.
Right? So it's like, you have this list. And I held it up and waved it at them. I was like, you have this, or you should. Some of you have lost it. Maybe your partner has one. It's like, but when I'm watching your presentation, grading it, guess what I'm going to be looking at? This exact paper. So it's not a mystery.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for. And I even gave them like an example, right? Like I made a presentation. I presented it to them the first thing that we did when I introduced this was I made a presentation and I presented it to them. And then I give them a copy of mine, like in their Google Classroom file thing, so they can look at it if they wanted some, like, just a reference. And some of them use it very well. Some of them don't look at it again ever. You could tell which ones don't do that. Yeah. But like, it's like you have all these tools. It's not a surprise what I'm going to be grading this on. So like, plus your presentation score that's added to the end, which is partly made up of how well you present your presentation and partly made up of how good of an audience member you are.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I like that one a lot.
Because I told them, like, not all of us are comfortable doing this, right? Not all of us like to be up here. So we have got to be a respectful classmate. So part of your grade is how well you do as an audience member. And some of them went, what?
But that's true. That's
like,
so...
Go ahead,
That's really key because being an audience member, like you don't like it when you're presenting and seeing somebody not paying attention to your stuff. Like that doesn't feel good.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've been working on this for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, right? So like, we want to show off all our work, and we want to show all the hard work you've been putting in. And if you're not going to listen and be a good audience member, then that's not fair to the rest of the class. That's not being respectful. And part of our PBI expectations are respectful classroom behavior.
Hey!
So, in this case, that's what we're doing. And I told him, I was like, I hope that you're better listeners for them than you are for me some days. If you do like that, that part of your grade's gonna not be very good, is it? No.
If you have anybody that's really nervous about presenting, you can tell them my fainting story. That's okay.
That's true. I forgot the fainting story. Maybe I'll tell them that on Monday.
You should totally tell them the fainting story.
Tell them that. I forgot about that. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Things happen to you in life sometimes, and you're like, this doesn't, like, I hate that. Like, what on earth? And then it's like, you know what? I can pull that out of my back pocket now and tell that to people who are like really stressing out about, talking to somebody on the phone or like, or having to present something for work or for a class or whatever. And it's like, trust me, you'll be fine. You'll be just fine.
True. That's true. is right. I think you should probably give us the brief recap for the listeners who are now going, "What on earth is he talking about?"
Oh so man,
that
gonna have to.
I think you could give him a brief insight into your anecdote here, Collin, please.
Here's the quick story. First semester, freshman year at Missouri State University, I took speech and debate. Just took speech class, speech 101. As part of that, they would select the top students at the end of the year to give a speech as part of a speech competition for that year and that semester. I hate giving speeches, but I was selected at the top for just my little class, and then we had to spend the day competing, giving the same talk over and over to multiple judges. I then advanced to the final round at night, and the key part of this really is a couple things. It was part of the grand reopening for the Gilioy's Theater. It's a historic theater in downtown that had been undergoing renovation for like 10 years prior to this, or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Like forever.
And so they were finally having it here, and it was going to be part of this event as the year that they were opening. they were going to hold it here. So that was check one. Check two, my teacher had said nobody shows up to these things. So, of course, this was packed house, standing room only. The judges included things like the mayor and the president of the university and like other big businessmen. I was the only biology student that had made it to this. Everyone else was like a business major or was in like speech and communications. And and the speech so I go all day. I'm not eating. I'm not doing anything except presenting, and I'm really stressed out about this because it's very stressful to give talks. And I make it to the end. It's at nighttime. It's like 6, 7 at night. Go to the Gilioy's. I've got my speech that I've been practicing for like a month or more at this point, and I've given it already several times today. I get there. My advisor comes up, and the teacher comes up and goes, "Look, nobody else is giving the talk like you're giving it, so you need to change it. Take out the part where you talk about the fake award." Because I had created this thing where I was created the fake award for the people who founded Silver Dollar City and the company that they made, because I gave an award to a local Missourian. And so I had a name for a fake award, and I had a whole thing about the fake award, and I kind of made it funny. And he was like, "Nobody's doing that. Take that out." So I'm taking that out. And then they come in.
Maybe they shouldn't be so boring and terrible. Just think about that.
This is the thing. They come in, and then and they're like, "We're all going random order." And I'm like, "Oh, great, random order. When am I going to go?" And they're like, "Scratch that." They number us off, and I was like, right in the middle. And I was like, "Great, right where we want to be." And then they come back in the third time and go, "Never mind, random order, go." And they march us into the theater, sit us down, lining
forward.
Up, right? And I'm middle, so I'm like, great, whatever. I get up, I walk out on stage, bright lights. I mean, you're on the stage, standing room only, people up there, black. I make it through my first sentence, I take a breath, and I fall flat on my face, back, land on the stage with a huge thud that echoes. My friend who was in the audience at the time thought that it was part of my talk because he said it was so bizarre. It was so unexpected. I wake up, I look up, the MC standing over me, and I just kind of raise my hands. He drags me off. And our dad is waiting in the wings, and my teacher comes over and he's like, "There's a back door. We can go back. It's fine." Dad's like, "We're walking out the front." And I'm like, "To hell with that. I'm going out the back door." I'm not walking out the front. Find me the back door. Meet me in the alley, Dad.
Colin's like, "I'm just jumping off the roof. Where's the ladder? Where's the roof access?
Where's the fire exit?" And we had chicken fingers at the Steak and Shake in downtown that night, and I got 5th place. Hey.
All right, so not to like dog on you, but like, how bad were the other people that you fainted and that you did better than them? Like, that's like how trash are they? That they they gotta feel real bad about themselves. Like, I'm a business major and I'm like in business communications, and I got 6th place behind a dude that fainted on stage.
Yeah, they're not putting that on their resume, are they? No. Oh man, I have.
They tell this story very differently. I think that's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that. Yeah, I think they kind of fuzz the middle part. But like, yeah. So moral of the story is eat frequently, especially on stressful days.
Eating's good.
Eating's good, and you just don't. And what's crazy is there are still days where I have to do a presentation and I still have to do a talk or something. And I get really anxious for those. Like I still get not passing out anxious, right? I've already been there, done that.
I mean, that's good.
But like I still get really anxious sometimes when I have to do something. And it's just a constant reminder of like, yeah, like this is you just find new ways and remind yourself of like, that happens. Like, yes, that's a fear, that's an anxiety, but you can do things around that. There are things you can control, and to remember that. And what was really crappy about this was that I know I said that this competition was at the end of the semester. What's key here is that it was towards the end of the semester. So even after this, I still had to go in and give 2 more talks to my class to finish out the semester, right? So I did open the very next talk that I had to give. I can't even tell you what it was. Oh, I think I gave a talk about some famous clarinetist or something. And so I took my clarinet in and I opened up. But when I walked in, I said Stage Falls 101, and nobody laughed. Nobody thought it was really funny. I thought it was.
People don't know. People don't understand humor.
Right. It's just being very self-effacing, very like, I get it. Like, yes, I literally passed out in front of all of you. I'm trying to put that out there because, like, I know that I know that you know. Like, let's just put it out there. Right. It's no use just brushing this under the table.
Just gonna own it. We're gonna acknowledge it. Right? We're just gonna go for it.
Really trying. Anyway, that was. Oh, so.
Yes.
Life lessons.
Indeed.
Aaron, have you driven all of the back roads around Pawhuska and the surrounding area?
Or passed out in an auditorium full of people?
I have.
Or both.
Never in an auditorium. I definitely remember I joined not speech and debate. It was like 6th grade, and it was like some literary competition where you had to like read a book and like recant the story with something. And there was like a whole competition that I went to, and I remember I didn't read a book because I didn't know that if I was like going or not. And they're like, "Oh yeah, Aaron, you're coming." And so I was like, "Oh no." And I remember it was kind of in the wintertime, so I don't know if I just had like some cough, and I just made up this story about like. I never read The Charge of the Light Brigade, the little poem thing, but I pretended that I read something similar to that, and so I just kind of recanted that story. And
into the Valley of Death rode the 500.
Yeah, but I wasn't that dramatic with it. But the only thing that the person noted was have cough drops next time, and I didn't do very well. But as far as driving all over the county, it was. This week had been no bueno. Some new cases kind of were like, surprise, here's crazy. Monday I got home at like 8, which isn't technically too bad. Tuesday I got home at like 9. Wednesday I got home at like 11. Yesterday I got home at 10:30. 3 out of those 4 days, I had law enforcement with me. the place the stuff yesterday. I sent Collin a Snapchat of it, of my progression of the day, of because I'm kind of stuck in the middle of where I am between kind of two offices, and I had to drive to one office, get a state vehicle, which is a new 2020 Kia, which I'm actually becoming a fan of.
Well, hey,
And I had to drive over an hour.
you doing hot laps in the reasonably
No,
priced
this is
car?
like
Is that what
a
you're doing?
little Kia.
Yeah.
What is it? It's something. The thing on the paperwork says it's a black Impala, and so when I showed up, I was like, y'all gave me the wrong keys. I'm like, no, that's it. That's just how we did. That's just how it's documented. And I was like, all right.
Wrongly?
No, they just.
It's a Kia Sorento, homie.
Yeah,
What is this? What's not it?
It's definitely a mom vehicle, but I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
So are you pretending that you're the star in the reasonably priced car?
A reasonably priced car this is. This one's a little bit more on the expensive side. Which is weird because they're closing all these offices, and then we have all these new vehicles that just materialized out of nowhere. So
I mean, they save money by closing.
I don't really see a problem here.
No, I was very busy the last few days, and today, which is Friday. Yes, I actually got it.
Same.
I actually
was this week
to sit down and work on a lot of things. Shelby is out of town. It's her fall break, and she is off adventuring with one of her gal friends up there in Illinois somewhere.
What do these people get fall breaks? What is this nonsense?
And so she's up there, and I was like, oh, I'll just have a weekend. And then I had lunch with her brother today because he was in town. And he's like, oh, man, like, what are you doing tomorrow? I was like, oh, well, I don't know. I might go watch some college football. And he's like, oh, what time's the game? And I was like, that's a good question. So I Googled it, and I was like, oh, man, that's crazy. Missouri State's playing tomorrow. He's like, where? I was like, Springfield. He's like, you do anything tomorrow? I was like, I just told you. He's like, no, we're going to go to Springfield tomorrow. So apparently I'm going to watch a Missouri State football game tomorrow.
Gross.
Why would you do that?
So
yeah, they're not
I get a hat.
I attended.
Okay, I get a hat.
I attended one football game there. One.
I attended.
Well, because you do know who the coach is, right? Bobby Petrino.
No.
Oh, he's not. Yeah, I did know that, and he's not. Yeah, no, that's not a great.
Good old Bobby.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
okay, flesh this out. Aaron sounds excited about Bobby.
No,
Brandon,
I'm not.
much.
No, I'm not. I'm not, because
okay.
Hold on.
Who is this?
Frustrated with basically.
Yeah, Google Bobby Petrino motorcycle.
See
what you get.
No.
Well, let me see if I can find the YouTube video. So
no,
Bobby
basically. That was. Why was that? Oh gosh. Oh geez.
Yep. You see.
What?
What'd you find, Colin?
I found a man in a neck brace. Is what I'm finding.
That's him.
Yeah.
So here's.
Yeah, read the rest of the article.
I saw the word. I saw a mistress. I saw.
Yeah. Bobby Petrino definitely was involved. The reason he's no longer coaching at Arkansas is because he was definitely involved in a motorcycle accident with a very young teacher's assistant on the back of his motorcycle, who is, definitely not his wife. Driving around, ye old motorcycle, and then discovered like, oh hey, they're not just studying football. That's what.
Yes, the 51-year-old Petrino and 25-year-old Jessica.
Yes, that would be the one.
Well, that's
they talked more than 326 phone calls and 7,200 text messages. I don't think I've talked to anybody that much in my entire life.
Yeah, right. That's
yeah. So that's another reason why he's definitely not liked. This is also the man that was the head coach of an NFL team and then just left like when like during like a few games in the season,
right.
and because he's like,
quit.
oh, I'm staying here for good, and then he like went to Louisville. He's been to Louisville like, twice or 3 times, and he was at Arkansas, and Missouri State landed him somehow.
Did he go to Mississippi for a while too?
I don't know.
Was that true? Or is that someone else?
After Louisville, I don't know. I kind of stopped following, but
maybe it was just Louisville. Maybe it went back to Louisville. Yeah, but he's ridiculous. He's such a jerk.
Is at Missouri State. I will say one time when I was in high school, I don't know where Collin was at this time, but it was one of those times where like everyone was just busy, and so I was like, I'll just go to Missouri State game. And so I got into the student section because I was doing dual credit program, and so I had a Missouri State ID. And
snuck in.
I just sat in the student section, and I just kind of someone gave me a sign to hold, and it was the S on Bears because someone had like a big Bears sign, and I was like, oh, that's me. Oh, what's your major? Perfect. I was like, I'm a geology major. Like, that's so crazy. And so it took me like a whole game to learn the fight song and stuff. I just liked going because it was just fun and unique. Like, the hometown school and stuff. But apparently we're gonna go up to Missouri tomorrow and might catch up with Dad for a wee bit. And
hey, it's a long way to drive just to watch a bad
like 2
football
hours.
team.
It's not
That's
bad.
Pretty.
There's these. I remember distinctly. There was these gentlemen that would come up to every single football game, every single basketball game, every single baseball game, and they were like super rich alumni from like Houston, Texas, and they would just fly up like on a Tuesday just to come to watch a game. And they would always come to Joe's, and they'd always sit there and have their 2 beers after a game, and then they would just leave. And then like, well, we have a game Thursday. I'm like, all right, well, we'll see you Thursday. I'm like, wait, so you're gonna fly from Houston just for a day? They're like, yep, see you later. And I was like, oh my gosh, how rich are you?
That's so strange.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't understand that.
I don't think I like anything that much to be like.
Well, so this falls into
literally nothing. Like,
this falls into a bit larger topic of like, I think it starts with like school spirit. But I think what you're talking about there, it's kind of this larger topic of our like getting into something that much.
Yeah, like literally taking the word fanatics seriously.
So
and
you're also talking to one of the person that used to paint his face to all the Oklahoma State games.
We know.
And I would camp out in front of the stadium just to get in early. Definitely, like, 100% on my 5th year senior lap, I was like, too tired, too crazy, too many drunk people. Don't, because this is about the time they would allow alcohol into the stadium. I was like, no, thank you. I will watch it at home. I will wear my OSU hat, and that is all I will do. Now I have a friend named Bryce who is like, oh, hey man, we're getting a get together, with all this stuff. He's like, can't. I'm like, why? Football game. I'm like, oh god. This is also the same man that will not go out and do anything, especially on like Bedlam. Bedlam is a huge thing in their family. So, the Bedlam is the OU Oklahoma State rivalry. He already plans a year in advance. He's like, don't ask me to do anything on this day. I'll be sitting at home watching TV, or I will be at the game. Like, oh, okay. I think it's nice to be like supportive, and like it's going to tailgates for me. This is from my perspective of going to tailgates and stuff like that was always fun. The aftermath of a football game of trying to corral people was always kind of a nightmare. But going there and just being a part of of just a different atmosphere. Granted, I also don't like people, but there's something about, yelling "Forge" and someone yelling "Power" and then like 60 other people joining in. But that is like, that's fun. And something definitely with when you call the Hogs when you're a Razorbacks fan, that's it's just a little tick that people have. Call the Hogs. Yeah, so it's.
I was hoping you weren't going to do that.
Just in case you listeners who don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh no,
Razorbacks. So.
Oh
dear.
I can edit that out. Don't worry. Nobody will know.
Okay, thank you.
Don't censor me, dang it.
Like it's one of those things where like I don't know. I'm like my personality is just way too impulsive to like sit down and plan my life around an event like that, right? Where I don't like clear my schedule and be like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be this thing, right? It's like when I was younger, like I wasn't really a sport enthusiast, but like the closest analogy I have is like I used to go to lots of like music concerts, when I was a youth, and that kind of thing. But it was always just like, hey, you wanted to go to this one? Yeah, sure, fine, okay. Not like, oh my gosh, guys, we literally have to stop everything for this event, right? That's never just been a part of my personality, so I find it very odd. It's just a thing that I don't understand, I guess, because I've never been like that. Like I've driven a long way to see like concerts before, like with with definitely during finals week in college one year, somebody won tickets. One of the people that we knew like won tickets to go to Kansas City to see the Offspring, and they couldn't go. And she was like, "Hey, do you guys want to buy these tickets for me for like $20?" And we're like, "Yep." She's like, I'm like, when's it for? Like, oh, it's tonight. We're like, okay, bye. And we just, okay, bye. Like, it wasn't a big planned event thing. It was just like yeah, I'll do that. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
let's go.
Why not?
And me and my friend drove to Kansas City, saw the Offspring, got some Taco Bell, drove back home. Like, that was it. So it went. It was fun. It was really good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's not like I have to stop everything and do this thing. I just don't. My brain doesn't function in that space, and so I don't understand. Like, and it's been like, I'm going to miss this one. Like, okay, no big deal. It'll be fine. Like, I don't.
Right.
I don't know. It's just so I like because school spirit is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing, but like drop everything fanaticism is just something like, what? I don't understand this at all. Because I remember like in high school and in college and where I was in the pep band, right? It's a fun environment to be in, and I was always in the pep band, so like I had to be places. Right? It wasn't like a choice really. I I was required to be there, but it was whether I wanted to be or not, I was there. But it was it was fun. It was a big thing, and especially like high school. Big, peppy, crazy Rogersville, right? It's weird. Because like the school I work at now is definitely like none, zero, and it's so bizarre. Like it's like, what are we doing? Like nobody goes to the games. They just like sit there, don't do anything.
So that
it's very odd. I don't know.
Definitely,
but like
one of the biggest kind of mental changes, especially coming from Rogersville. Granted, when I played football, when I was on the sidelines, we were
on the team.
We were good. People showed up. That stadium that they built, it was always relatively packed. And then when I went to NEO, people just like showed up to our games and they were just there. The loudest people at the stadiums was AKA us, the band people, and we were just like. I was like, no one cheers. Like, is this no one does anything? And then going to like smaller like schools and towns to do like shows at other sporting events, and then like then going to Oklahoma State, what is it like 75 that was in plus. People just screaming constantly.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. And then when I became a coach, granted, I did not know this until I started coaching there. Caney Valley had the longest losing football streak in the nation. And so you'd get parents that showed up, maybe the one or two high school kids and their friends, and that's it. And like no one.
That was Logan Rogers football when I started high school. That's how.
Yeah.
And I was probably the loudest person because I was up in the little press box with my little play sheet, and you can dang sure hear me without a microphone.
Oh, I'm definitely the loudest person at the middle school basketball. It's me. It's surprise. It's me. Man, it's really funny because the game that I went to, I only made it to one game last year before they had to stop the season, right? And then it was great fun. I'm super loud and like just really into it, right? Because that's how I always was whenever I was there. Like if I'm gonna watch a sporting event, I'm here to watch the sporting event. I'm not here to mess around. I'm not here to talk to people. I'm engaged in the basketball game, right? And so it's just like me yelling and carrying on and all stuff. And some parents definitely looked at me like, right?
Did they?
Kids liked it. It was fine. And there was definitely some parents. Yeah, there were some parents who were like, "I'm sitting by you next time." It's like, all right, let's go.
We're getting the band together.
My boss was there at that one. She's the principal, right? And she came over. She was like, "Wow." I was like, "What? I'm here to watch basketball. What do you want from me?" She's like, "Are you always this loud?" I was like, yes, I am.
Hi. Obviously haven't met.
Hi. Yeah,
at least not in this context.
Not in this context, that's true.
That's key.
But she said that she's like, I'm sitting by you next time. It's like, all right, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. We will be the group.
Well, because I was
well, she was one of the people that like she's like has a history of like playing basketball. So her like cheering is more like sports oriented, like very specific. Like,
yeah,
that kind of like focused, like really into the plays.
Mm-hmm.
And I come at it from I decided a long time ago that I am a professional spectator. That's just my role. It's fine. Decided in high school. When I took PE in summer school, me and my best friend decided, you know what?
Actually,
we are professional spectators. Yeah. That's what we're doing. If the PE in summer school didn't give it away, that would be.
Yeah.
I'm not about to take a whole year of PE. I think we mentioned that before. But we professional spectator. So like mine is more like encouraging and shouting, and sometimes I shout silly things. One of my personal favorite things to do is I developed this over a long history. I like to yell out penalties from other sports, specifically during basketball, because it's way more fun.
What?
So just yell out like holding, like roughing the passer. Like,
oh no! Why?
That was.
It's great. It's really fun. You try it next time you watch a sporting event. It doesn't have to be live, right? Just start calling out other penalties from like hockey and baseball, it's soccer, right? Just start calling those out while you're watching a basketball game.
So my time at NEO during marching season, be the pet band at the football games. In Oklahoma, you can play like all the time in the band. It's not like in Missouri where you like when the plays are, when in football when the play is in action, you have to stop playing. In Oklahoma, you can play whenever.
That's true. Oh yeah, no, Nisha doesn't like fun. And it's illegal. That was in Missouri. Fun at high school sporting events is illegal.
We were always the loudest people. Whenever we weren't even playing, we would just be yelling, and that was the fun. I don't want to say fun part in pep band at basketball games, because the jazz band sat right behind the opposing bench, so we would get ourselves a little roster and it'd be like, number 3. Hey, Kimberly. Where'd you get those shoes? Those are really nice, actually. Would they fit me? Just like yell like random things like that. And whenever.
Oh yeah, Collin was the worst because like the only people that were at Crowder basketball games were the pet band and the baseball team. So like it was there was so much yelling from the student section that it was ridiculous. Like
oh my gosh.
It was similar to that, right? But yeah, Misha doesn't like fun. We almost got kicked out of a sectionals basketball game, like the whole student section, because we were being too loud.
Really?
They stopped the game. They stopped the game and announced if you don't stop. Because in Missouri you can't continuously stand either. Standing is illegal. You're at a sectionals basketball game. You're going to stand up and be shouting the whole time. Well, yeah. So continuous standing is illegal. Stomping on the bleachers is illegal, right? Continuous shouting is illegal. The referee stopped the game and was like basically said, if you do not comply with the regulations, we will empty the gym and play the rest of the game without fans.
Wow.
To which you can imagine the course of booze that just rained down on me from
duh, right?
Stuff.
Yeah. My God.
We're at Parkview, the Parkview gym. Boo! Like, oh man, it was bad. It was so
wow.
They were mad at us. It was great.
The best. So I think so. 2 things. The best chant that I learned that I still use to this day. It's definitely not the cleanest. Is the nuts and bolts thing?
Oh.
And the
Shit. It's a family show.
But
I like the rebound one. I do the rebound one.
My whole experience. So college football, cool. Going to a Oklahoma State game at Gallagher-Iba, the arena is a completely different world. It's just this construct of noise, and I've only been to a few games at Gallagher-Iba, but it is such. Even if you're not a basketball fan, which I hate basketball, and I can blame that on what's his face from Logan Rogersville. But just being in that, yes, thank you. That ruined basketball for me. But being in Gallagher-Iba was
that's fine.
Was a whole new.
Everybody agrees with that. He's
but
not
I will
good.
say, I went to a Oklahoma City Energy soccer game, and last year and this year, and just the number one, the amount of profanity that is just screamed at these soccer matches from just like diehard loyalist fans. And these are also the people that they have, that Energy fans have their own bar that they go to after every Energy game. And like, it's just packed with just Energy fans. But it's also one of the only experiences of people handing out pamphlets of words that we can't say, especially all the Spanish words that we can't say. And they're like,
yeah,
we can't, but like the chants, and it's like, I talked to one guy and he's like, yeah, I'm an accountant. My brother's a lawyer, and we just love like just coming out decked out in nothing but Energy's colors are green and blue, and just coming out in like just
ew.
It's not, I didn't pick the colors, but just coming out in that, and they have these pamphlets that they have their versions. And depending on where they sit on away games, they have the censored versions of songs, because there was one game they went and the whole away section was next to like a children's hospital section, and they had to revert to like the back page of the pamphlet that had all the PG version of the chants. And so like going to, because I knew soccer matches were crazy. But like, I think,
yeah, but it seems weird to me that happened. That seems like, I could be way off base here, but like that seems like a weird forced thing where people like become part of a fandom with an expectation of like, because this is like an 80s English soccer hooliganism, right? And then they just went, hey, that's funny, let's do that. And it doesn't like develop from like an organic place, because like there's no reason to do that if you've never, you know what I mean? Especially if you're just like some random soccer team in the Midwest, like you have no history of soccer being, right?
Who do you think you are right now?
So it's sort of like hey, this is the expected soccer cultural realm that we need to live in, and then we'll just copy it and like do that because it's funny.
I do know that the energy actually came from an Irish league team that the owner
that does happen, Irish, but the fans didn't do that.
Nobody from Ireland moved to Oklahoma.
Oh well, I was going to say they did, because there's a lot of families that were brought in, especially like when they were traded or into the organization. So the families came, and then therefore the fans came, and then that just kind of steamrolled the culture. And plus, you get from the Hispanic culture brought into that mix as well. So,
yeah, but Hispanic soccer culture is different than specifically English soccer culture, because English soccer culture is the hooligans, is the soccer riots, is the profanity, is the like breaking stuff, is the fighting, right? Is the gangs, right? Like
definitely not the last three that we see, especially in Oklahoma City. But it is kind of a nice little mixture of the Hispanic culture, that especially at energy games. Because there's like a huge following support of it that have their whole Spanish chants and things like that. And then we have, the random chants that we have, but they never like vandalize anything or anything. I mean, I've only been to 2 games, so I can't say much or defend them much.
Well, again,
there you go.
That's kind of even in England, that's kind of going away. That's a very like late 80s, early 90s kind of phenomenon of like the soccer hooligan gangs of like, I'm a West Brom fan, and if I see somebody wearing a shirt that's not West Brom, I'm gonna beat them up. Right? That's a very specific to English hooligan culture. Right? Like that's what it like, I'm a West Ham United, and if you're not wearing that shirt, I'm gonna throw bricks at you. Like what?
Okay, that escalated quickly, right? Like, yeah, it did.
Yeah, calm down, man. It's all right.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like those Texas Tech Red Raider fans of throwing tortilla things at people, Collin.
Yeah, like I was really one of them. No, I attended one Texas Tech game. My time there, and I was
threw tortillas.
I threw all of the tortillas that we had. No, so that tradition of like, as the opposing team comes on, you throw tortillas out into the field. Don't understand that. And then my other memory of that game, I couldn't even tell you who we were playing. Was towards the end of the game. We were winning, and so the student section started tearing up the bleacher seats and passing them down and throwing them onto the field.
Because that makes sense.
I didn't understand. I think it was like because the other team was starting to get was all standing and was getting rowdy, so they were basically saying like sit down, go, or like sit down kind of thing.
Oh yeah, or go home.
Yeah. I didn't. Again,
but that's supposed to be the shake your keys thing.
Yeah,
that's home, what I dude.
Anyway,
and I think part of this from the live sport perspective, especially if it's a televised sport, I think some of this fan behavior becomes because it's so boring.
Well, true
when you're there,
yeah,
because there is a shocking amount of standing around and doing nothing,
literally
at professional sporting events.
It is true.
Or even those collegiate ones that are on television.
Yeah.
Like all the stinking commercial breaks, they just stand there. And so you're like all hyped, you're like, I'm going to go to this game, blah, blah. And then you go to and you're just like, especially like football, like they're just standing here.
Yeah.
I can understand. You would know that with baseball. Baseball, literally nothing exciting happens.
Ever.
In 17 hours of baseball. Literally. It was like one exciting play
Oh,
right? Like those ESPN highlights are a lie. They show you like 3 like really like exciting events. You got to remember that takes place over 7 hours.
it did. Yeah.
Of a baseball game.
7 hours for the first inning, right? And that's where all of the that's what they did.
So baseball fans know that you just sit there. That's why they're so obsessed with statistics. It gives them something to do in the stands, right?
Yeah.
Just adding things, right? But like other, like, oh, there's all this excitement, and now we're just standing here. So I'm like amped up. I'm excited. Standing, breaking action, nothing happening.
Nothing.
So they channel their like energy into like negative things.
Well, yeah,
like swearing at the opposing team or vandalizing their own stadium because that makes sense.
I know,
like,
right? It's like why?
I'm gonna break my chair. I'll show you. Like what? Okay, man, you
literally showing
really showed
nobody.
me. You can't sit down.
Yeah. Have fun now when your legs get tired, I guess. Woo.
Yeah. I don't know.
Could you hand it back, please? I actually really need it.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm exhausted now.
That's it. Yeah.
But I don't know.
No. Yeah, that was my... So, recounting the number of events that we went to, so... Obviously, a lot of football events in high school because of the band, and then which I really
had to be
I really enjoyed being a band member and doing that, and mostly just yelling with somebody else and making loud noises most of the time. And then I went to one football event at Missouri State. I went to one football event at Texas Tech, and then I went to a Rangers game, which is baseball.
It's baseball,
and that is the extent of. I guess we went to some hockey events growing up too, St. Louis Blues, but that is the extent of my like
Kansas City Blades minor league hockey.
Oh, is that who it was?
What? Went to that too.
Oh,
I don't remember going to that one.
Went to that too. Yeah, that's where we went. Well, I went. I didn't go to Kansas City Blues. I never went to a Blues game until Susan and I went like the year before we got married because they were playing the Red Wings. And the Red Wings are my favorite hockey team, and so we went and watched that.
I thought we went as a group to anyway. I thought we went as a.
I think it was Kansas City.
It was Kansas City. Okay, maybe.
Yeah, we went because I had a hat.
Because I have a
Blades hats
at home that we got at the game.
Yeah, his Blades. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. My experience was.
Yeah, it would have been Kansas City because that's where we would have gone to DD's house.
Oh, that's a good point. Good point. Never mind.
Because we didn't know anybody at St. Louis at the time because Keith wasn't there.
Right.
He would have been somewhere in who knows
The
where
Midwest.
Like,
Oh gosh.
yes.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, anyway. Hockey. There was a hockey.
There was a hockey. And I think that's
one, maybe two.
That's it. But like, I'm also trying to think of like other things that like I would be considered a fan of because I never got into the school spirit. Like I never went to school dances. I never dressed up for like school spirit week. I to the schools that I've gone to, I've tried to remove my name from the alumni list as vehemently as possible. Every time they get Missouri State has not called me in like 5-6
They email
years.
me all the time.
Mostly because
They don't call me ever. They email me like twice a week.
I get the emails from Oklahoma State and the phone calls about once a month.
No, I
don't get phone calls.
I got the phone calls
Knock on
from
wood.
the Alumni Association and basically was like, if you call this one more time, I am going to sue you for harassment. Stop calling me. And like, I would get their stuff in the mail and I'd call them and I'd like, remove me from this list immediately. I don't want this trash. And like, so I just tried to remove my name because it was like, I never understood that of like that spirit that you'd have for them. I understand supporting the people there, but like as a school and institution, I never got into that. As far as where that goes. But
well, now they just want your money.
Right.
That's what they want. They want like, well, How about you give us more
money? Wouldn't
money,
that be
though? How
great?
about that? Wouldn't that be fun?
Wouldn't that be
Wouldn't it be fun
awesome?
if you gave us more of your money?
Yeah. And I was like,
That would be cool.
no, I'm good. I'm actually really good. I don't want to support you anymore.
Yeah.
I'm good. But like, I'm a fan of other stuff, like fan of like nerdy things and fan of like TV shows and things like that. So I definitely get that side of it, but not the school spirit.
Yeah, but
right?
even that stuff, there's nothing that I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I have to go sit. Like you know what I mean? Like I can't think of anything right now. And even when I was younger, when I was not such a grumpy old man, right? Like there was nothing that I was like, oh my gosh, I have to drop everything and do this. It was just like hey, you want to go do that? Sure. All right.
Why not?
Like it was. Like we drove to St. Louis one time to watch the Warped Tour was in St. Louis, like the year I graduated.
Yeah.
So we went to the punk rock show in St.Louis. That was fun. But it was just kind of like, hey, that's in July. You guys want to go?
Yeah.
And they're like, sure.
Why not?
And so we drove. That's a side story for another day because, oh, Lord, that was exciting. But like,
okay. Warped Tour.
Yeah, add that somewhere. Get concert horror stories on here at some other point in time. But
there was always, something that I at least either like love to go to, like, I call myself an alumni of Rogersville, but I haven't been to any like events. I'm not, part of any like social media page or nothing. My 10-year anniversary thing apparently happened, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah, not going."
That's not. You shouldn't. Don't say that. That hurts me. That you haven't had a 10-year reunion. Ouch! Ouch! Little bro had the 10-year.
Anyway, old man.
The same thing. It's like,
like that one hurts deep.
There's just, I mean, I love going to NEO homecoming. Like, though that was always fun. I've been twice, but it was always fun because I always got to be a part of the band, and we go and play band things and be a part of that. But like, I've always worked on homecomings for like Oklahoma State. I've never been to walk around, and Stillwater gets, I think it becomes like the second largest city in the state of Oklahoma during homecoming. Because, people just flood in from, alumni from everywhere. And like, I was like, people, and like, I got to deal with these people, and it's too busy. True. But like, it's kind of nice to have that like alumni status. But like, I think since I just don't answer their phone calls, they've hopefully stopped calling me. But
yeah,
I mean, I have an obsession with hats, and anyway, so it is kind of nice to like, I graduated from here, or like, look at this free hat I got, like, put my little Oklahoma State hat on, or something like that.
Aaron's really just in it for the swag. We found
Sweet.
it. We got.
They gave me free clothes. Well, this hat.
That's another reason why I want to be a coach, so I don't have to pay for any of my. I got so many free hats and free coaching stuff when I coached. It was just like, I don't have to pay for this. Really? You don't say.
Makes me really grumpy that as a teacher I have to pay $12 for a stupid T-shirt.
I still have to do that, or have to do that. So I get this. Oh, I don't. Oh, okay, well, fair enough. Well, but like, there's like that same friend Bryce. Whenever he lived up in Wichita, Wichita had all those minor league teams. Minor league hockey, minor league baseball. And stuff like that. I mean, he would go to all of them. He was a season ticket holder, but he always had the mentality of, if you're in the hometown, support whatever team there is. But yeah, I mean, he had all the swag of all those teams, and I was like, that's a lot of commitment. But down the road from where we live, we got the Tulsa Drillers, and they're just fun to go to, mostly because the tickets are cheap. And it's just nice to kind of like have something to go to. Just another little quick event. I mean, I've been to countless games of football, baseball, soccer, just because I like sports in general. But then I get there and it's like halftime. I'm like, man, I can kind of watch this on my couch, but here I am.
See, that's the problem. It's much
they're competing
in my
with,
opinion,
I guess.
it's much easier to. Yeah, it's easier to watch it at your house. You have all your own snacks. You can wear your sweatpants, your t-shirt. You don't have to get dressed up. It's great. So, and then when it gets boring, you can just change channel.
Yeah.
When either they're winning by like $1 billion or losing horribly, you're just like, well, change channel now. All right. Something else.
Anyway, something more exciting.
Yeah. Cake Wars. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all.
Hard turn. Okay.
Hard turn. Save that one for later too, because man, that's crazy. Anyway,
yes, there's so many topics. We gotta start busting through these. We gotta start doing this.
that's fine. We need more material. It's okay. It's all right. No worries.
If Brandon's throwing Cake Wars out there, I'll definitely throw some British baking show under the tent out there any day. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Next week. Boom.
Food shows. I don't know. What's that topic?
Food shows. Got it.
More food shows. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So top.
Put a pin in that one for next week, Aaron. We'll continue.
Is that what you want? We'll do Cake Wars and food shows for next week. Okay.
Yeah, because they're ridiculous things.
Okay.
We're
Sweet.
Oh
no.
Also, James May's cooking show is coming out on Amazon.
Oh, right.
No, it officially has a release date now. I saw the day. I can't remember what it was, but it's like soon.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Coming soon. That's happening. We're gonna have to get on that. We'll get on our review of that.
Yeah. Well, and I think I still want to do like a commentary track or something to something like that. I'm interested in trying to do that with you guys. Like sit down, do a watch party, and we record while we're watching, and that'd be fun.
Well, I don't know if my internet can handle that, but we can maybe do the watch party and then record right after.
Sure. Okay, that's fine.
Maybe we could do that.
Okay.
Because I don't think my internet can stream and record simultaneously.
Fair.
It might die. Some days it can barely record, so I don't know if I can.
True. That's good.
Well, we should do that on like a Saturday. We'll do we'll watch it, and then like immediately afterwards we'll
get on together and be
talk
like,
about it. Yeah.
This is good.
I like this plan.
Okay. Excited.
So I'll try to find the actual date that's releasing and then go from there. But yes, that's coming soon. I saw the trailer.
Woot.
On the YouTube, on the Food Tribe YouTube thing or whatever they had it. So that was good.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we will put a pin in that then. And
all right.
Be back next week.
Sounds good.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Bye.